Hello everyone, welcome to GoldenNova's First Reacts, where I'm doing a react to the ban list that just got revealed for the TCG that's going live. It says the 9th, so I guess we're getting some big changes soon. Normally I do a big blindfold ban list challenge, but it's too late over here. I can't rope anyone in to do all of this. I don't have time to set all the little pieces together, and you've all probably seen a lot of this from the live stream. So really, you're getting my reactions as opposed to any new information, I'm sure, on this one. Now, when it comes to changes for this format, I haven't been paying too close attention to it, but the last information I saw about it is that it was actually pretty diverse. We had 8 top decks during the last big premiere event. That seems pretty good to me. I'd like to see some hits to Tenpai, though, because universally people dislike it. And I also dislike when my games randomly end out of nowhere because of cards I can't interact with. So here's hoping we get some hits on that one, and then maybe Snake Eye and Azamina. Well, rather, Snake Eye and Fiendsmith. Azamina is the one that I think is fine. It's just like a cool, good package of cards that is amplified by things like Snake Eyes and Fiendsmith. Those two decks do a lot of stuff, but I don't even necessarily if they need to be hit that bad, if at all. I just don't like Azamina being hit. See, when it's the lore stuff that I like, it shouldn't be hit because it's fine. If it's the lore stuff that I don't like, or archetypes I don't like, then it's fine to ban them because, I don't like them. And cards that I don't like are morally incorrect. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Forbidden, Gimme Puppet Nightmare, Jowgen the Spiritualist, Original Sinful Spoils, Snake Eye. Okay, so, as the branded player, thank God these cards are finally banned because I can stop hearing people complain about Sanctifier. People are saying, ban Sanctifier, get rid of it. Even though these are the problem cards. Gimme Puppet Nightmare, of course, being the most dastardly of them because it applied the condition that kept the player from special summoning, as opposed to things like Jowgen, which provides a continuous effect that can be removed if you just destroy the monster. It's not the only cards that this works with. I think like Ito and Ra's Servant are like the two big ones that you could also tech in here. But Jowgen is important because it's like a light spellcaster. So that combos with all of the branded stuff that cares about light spellcasters. So this was like the easiest to access one that wasn't Nightmare, but these two just needed to go. And you know what? I've done my own fair share of gimmick puppeting. I've done my Nightmare locks. I'm not going to sit here and say that I've been the good branded player. I like my wins as much as the next person. But thank goodness these are gone, and we can finally see that Sanctifier is just fine. Original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. This is probably the most impactful Snake Eye card they could have hit. So this summons any level 1 fire monster by sending a face-up card you control to the graveyard, or monster. You would basically do Diabell, get OSS, play the OSS, send Diabell Star, get a level 1 fire monster. This got you any of the meaningful Snake Eyes ones. It also sucks, though, because they built so many like pieces of support around making level 1 fire monsters that you could tech the Diabell Star engine into. Like, off the top of my head, the new Evolzar support had Mega Kyrea, which was greatly enhanced by the fact that you could just summon it out for free without using your normal summon. So that deck no longer has that combo. That's unfortunate, but I just think it was too much access to some of the strongest cards in the game. I think we hit some other Snake Eye stuff last list, but as long as OSS is around, and as long as you can play a hefty amount of Diabell Stars, no amount of hits is really going to be meaningful. So these two make a ton of sense. Limited, Tenpai Dragon Chandra. God, I forget which one does which. Chandra's the red one, right? Anyway, but that's one less Tenpai. Sangen Kaimen is at 1. That's really good. So Sangen Kaimen is the... Sangen Kaimen is the quick play spell card that, like, can add a Fire Dragon from deck to hand or play it from hand, right? Do I have to get like a whole other... I've got to get a whole other thing put together here. 1 second. Don't have all the stuff off the top of my head, unfortunately. I'm sorry, folks. Okay, so Chandra is the one, once per battle, the synchro. If you control a fire, you can special summon it from your hand. If it battles, you can special summon a fire dragon from your deck. Okay, so pulling from the deck is pretty powerful because that just means it's a 1-card. Or close to a 1-card combo. And then Sangen Kaimen was the quick play spell. It's not Sangen Summoning. Sangen Summoning is already limited. Okay, so we have just made it less consistent to set up the deck. At what point, how many consistency pieces do we have to hit before being able to auto-win becomes a non-viable deck to play? I guess we will find out now that they've lost effectively 4 more copies of their best starter. Phantom of Yubel. This one lets you do the Yubel Fusion monster now, but you can't set up more than one, which I already think the card itself is already obnoxious, but it was terrible when you could just do 2 of them and just sit behind 2 of them. That's frustrating, but now you can't do that, so that's pretty good. Zodiac Barrage going to 1. Barrage was... Is this... Are we seeing Barrage come back now? It was banned beforehand. So now we can just... Okay, that's pretty cool. I think Zodiacs don't have the surrounding pieces that make them outrageously powerful, so I think you can just bring back Zodiacs and it's fine. Obviously, any Zodiac can represent a gigantic Zeus, by way of stacking a bunch of Xyz material and then putting Borbo attack directly, all that nonsense. But, like, the amount of times you can Zeus is meaningful, but I don't know if it's so meaningful that we should keep Zodiacs, not necessarily even off the table, just making them easier to access. Also just being able to pop another card, though, to get a Zodiac. I'm excited to see what Barrage does for the format, honestly. Yeah, I'm curious to see if that enables anything really cool. So far, I'm not upset with the list so far. I actually think these changes are pretty solid so far. Semi-limited. Cyberjar's coming to 2. Big whoop, I believe Cyberjar was like at 1 beforehand. No one did anything. Jackalope and Tsuchinoko. Now, where were these at beforehand? Were these limited? Oh, I got my my expletives incorrect. Okay, they're back to 2 copies, folks. Rank 3s are back, folks. We have more rank 3 material. Burning Abyss players, rise up. More Eva. This makes all of the decks that run all the tiny Herald cards even stronger. Also big for Drytron, I believe, so that's pretty cool. And Performapal Monkey Board. Pendulum hasn't done anything yet, so we're just slowly bringing monkey boards back. I guess it's fine. I have to start learning that power creep actually exists, and that old card is not necessarily as powerful nowadays. So I think monkey board is fine, but we'll see how it progresses. We don't see a lot of like new pendulum stuff happening nowadays, especially after the Master Rule debuff. So I don't know. It might not be a big deal actually. Oh, we are rolling out the unhits. So for those of you who saw my last blindfold banlist challenge, Blaster Redox Tidal Tempest, I was probably gonna get all of these right because all of these went from 1 to 2 last list. Once again, the Dragon Rulers have done nothing, but now the Dragon Rulers, unless are the babies still? Like, no, the babies are, so you could play all the babies, all the rulers. That's wild. Airlifter is back. Wait, Airlifter. Is that the one that people, Airlift, sorry. What? What's going on here? Yeah, Airlifter. Airlifter. Am I going nutso? Rescue Ace. Airlifter. Yeah, this was the one that people were all like, oh, why is it on the list? Well, now they brought it all the way back to 3 immediately. Thank God. So I can stop hearing the Rescue Ace people complain about it. No, but for real, they were, that was hit for no reason. So glad to see that that's back. Lunalight Tiger, another hit. I think Lunalight Tiger and Pankratops were both things that were brought at 2 last list. So we're just bringing them back. With Orcus back on the horizon, Lunalight Tiger could be useful again. Who knows? Paying it 3, that's very funny. I'm looking forward to seeing if that'll make a comeback. Being a gigantic exiled force that you can summon, that's just like also a free material, that's also a level 7 monster, I think is could have ramifications, but who's to say? Colossus is back at 3. This is one that's like they already brought it back, and it's already doing the damage that it can do. So bringing back more copies, I don't think really means anything. I don't like this trend because it's so weird how they handle their floodgates and how like they think what's their tier list on how floodgates should be handled, right? Because not for nothing, but we did just get rid of two of the most annoying floodgates in the game, getting rid of a central mechanic in special summoning, but now we're just reintroducing Colossi, which are a floodgate towards consistency pieces. Or at least the ones that it blocks off. It might be like trying to encourage you to use things that aren't just adding from deck to hand, which was the way back in the day. We have a ton of cards nowadays that just set cards directly to the field or put them in your graveyard and then put them back in your hand that way. So it might be a floodgate being used to not necessarily get rid of consistency pieces, but get rid of certain ones. But I hate seeing more Colossuses. That really sucks. That's probably the only change on this list that I'm actually really upset about. Ib, we've already had like 2 Ibs, and they aren't doing big combo stuff right now that I can see, so a third one shouldn't matter. And then opening of the Spirit Gates, I think this was at 1 last time, right? Yeah, that got hit to 1, presumably as a way to hit like all the Yubel decks, but I literally don't think that opening of the Spirit Gates was the problem. I thought that Nightmare Pain was the big pain in my ass. But that's not hit either. So now Yubel has gone from trading. They've traded out their opening of the Spirit Gates, which makes their deck more consistent technically, and then got rid of their multiple negates in the form of their different fusion monsters. So what's going on with this list? I think what we're seeing here is a reflection of how the format was actually pretty good beforehand. There's a diverse number of decks that you can play. The only thing that I feel that is like hit here that's really relevant were the Tenpai cards and these annoying, these annoying bastards. Losing original Sinful Spoil Snake Eyes, I'm curious to see how the Snake Eye combos work nowadays, because I feel like OSS was the glue that made Snake Eye such a powerful card to mix in with decks. Because now that I'm at the wrap-up phase, Diabellstar searches this out, but it's a Snake Eye card, so Poplar also searched this out. So there was a lot of ways to get into an OSS that would turn your cards into other cards, or lacking any Snake Eyes stuff, you could take any of your regular cards and hard draw the OSS and then turn those into a Poplar or an Ash. So these kind of felt like necessary changes, even though OSS is kind of like a Band-Aid rip. Limited, I think these 3 cards suck to have around. So getting rid of those is fun. Or not getting rid of, but making it more difficult to get your hands on those is a good idea. But everything else feels like a bring these cards back so we can play more. And honestly, I'm here for it. More Barrage, more Danger stuff, more Pendulum stuff. Bring all the Element Dragons. Feel free to play 3 Redox and Madolches if you so choose. Bring your Airlifters back. This seems like a list that that hits what needed to be hit and allows for a bunch of old stuff to come back into the game. Did we just get... Is this a good list? Did they make a functional list that addresses problems and fixes the form? We will see. We will see. Now, unfortunately, a ban list can't solve everything. There are still the issues of price points. Noticeably, none of the Fiendsmith cards were hit here. I think only Lacrima is the only Fiendsmith card that has been hit in this game so far. Yeah, but every other card in the list is available to play at 3. So, so that whole engine is intact, and I don't think that needed OSS. And Fiendsmith and as Zamina should play well together because they're both like very Fiend-centric decks. So I think their power and price point are largely unaffected by this list. So if your problem was the way Yu-Gi-Oh was played, things have been fixed. If the problem is that Yu-Gi-Oh is too expensive, you're gonna need to keep waiting for some good reprint sets to happen. Maybe that's the secret reveal that we should be getting next YCS. A Bonanza set that actually means something. But this is good. This is a good list that gets us back tools for older decks to play, while getting rid of bad cards right now that are causing bad play patterns. I think this is the platonic ideal of a ban list, so I'm looking forward to it. But now I want to hear from all of you. What the hell did I just say? Am I completely off base? Am I so out of touch that actually the second Cyber Jar is what's going to ruin the format? Is Zodiac Barrage going to cause some kind of format warping super threat that we will never be able to recover from until we're able to bring back Master Rule 3? Let me know. Feed me your knowledge. Let me know down below. And until next time, let's hope that we get more goofy situations where people bring ban lists to tournaments to show them off. That would be really funny. My only regret is that they didn't say they were going to do something like this sooner. It would have been really funny to like have gotten a watch party or something set up here. I guess I should be doing more watch parties and stuff for YCSs in general, but oh man, my weekends are so busy. I got so much stuff to do. Folks, subscribe to the Patreon so that I can hire editors to do all of my work for me so that I can do weekend parties. Okay, terrible pitch aside. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and get 5% off your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media, and Natiel Lee Alexander, Nebula Navigators 3rd Dynasty, 50 Gigabytes, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Kane Senpai, Chibi Gohan, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Cobblebottom, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Going It/Its for the Bit/Bits, Great Big Pillock, Hair Bear, Happy Majin, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Carp, Marion James E. Picata, Millennia Asta, Muse Clark, Neon Yaminair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Pat Poos, Rank 10 Trains, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, The Critic of Innocence, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Animasta, Baden Von Titty Sprinkles, Beelzebub Fish, Beluga Master, Blitzwolf, Caesar M, Chaz Ghost, Dr. Reaper R.I.P., Eva Padilla, Hike Boyagian, Herbal D, Ignis Heat the True Draco Slayer, Inblink, Kale the Dragon, Lobomaru 02, Manga Pages, Matt Simmons, McSpoofy, Mike, Nitromo, Not Al Gore, Nyx, Obsidian, Rainer Leong, Rhyme Kairos, Shizuki Nijimura, Sir Knight JCB, Sophie, apparently, Stephen Williamson, The Legendary Raven, The Phantom Knights of Shitted Pants, The Gene, Tiger X2476, Weasel King of Weaseltown, and Zaldreka, as well as the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.